Hi friends, welcome back to your yoga practice. My name is Jess and today's class is going to be a marinate class. Marinate classes are slower, we spend more time in postures. This particular marinate class, we will do a few postures where we kind of get a very slow, chill flow, and then we're going to end with melty, restorative postures. We will be using 2 blocks and a trusty yoga bolster for this practice. If you do not have those, you can absolutely do it without them, but if you do, feel free to pause the video and go grab them. And if you do enjoy my classes, please subscribe to my channel, please share it with your friends so that we can continue to grow our YouTube family. I do just put all of my love and care into making these videos for you, and I hope you love them. Let's get to our marination. I will see you on the other side. Today we're going to start in a seat. So find yourself a comfortable seat. You can sit on one of your props or you can just come to an easy cross-legged position. And find your palms face down or face up on your thighs, does not matter, whatever feels the most comfortable for you. Allow your eyes to close down. And begin to grow your spine long from the earth all the way out the crown of your head. And as you settle into this lengthened seat, start to lay your awareness on your breath. And begin to watch your breath as it moves with no effort on your part throughout your body. And as you watch your breath move, you might notice that your inhales seem to be moving in an upward direction. And your exhales seem to be moving in a downward direction. Allowing yourself to witness this movement of duality, of up and down. And knowing that in our lives and in our practice, there's always duality. Where there's an inhale, there comes an exhale. Where there's happiness, there comes grief. Where there is strength, there is softness and flexibility. And they both exist because of one another and with one another. And throughout our practice today, I invite you to sit and be with this notion. So maybe it's just following your breath, and in each posture you come back and notice where you lengthen, where you expand on your inhales, and where you root, where you drop on your exhales. And this could be a thread throughout our whole practice, our whole time together. Or maybe your mind takes this and it goes somewhere deeper, to a different layer. Maybe into your mind, into your heart, into experiences that you've had that may have these dualistic qualities. And through our practice, maybe coming to a little bit of acceptance that as within, so without. With one comes the other. And allowing our lives and our breath and our practice to be just as it is while we're here together in the 4 corners of our mat. And letting what it is be perfect. Not needing to change it or manipulate it. Just observing. I invite you to take a full inhale through your nose now and notice the drawing upward as you do. And open your mouth in a full exhale. Notice the drawing downward and inward. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed as we make our way to all fours. You can open them up if that feels better for you as well. But keep everything really chill, really relaxed. Dare I say, a little lazy. And then find your hands underneath your shoulders, fingers spreading wide, and maybe you wiggle around a little bit to really get your footing, your handing. And let your belly drip down toward the earth here. Let your tailbone tilt up toward the sky and your heart scoops forward, finding a cow posture. And as you exhale, press into your hands, curl your tailbone down and round your spine. Cat pose. As you inhale, untuck your tailbone, drip your belly, open your heart. And as you exhale, curl inward, round, relax your neck. And move on your breath. And move in a very relaxed way here. So we're not warming up for a power flow. We're not trying to put too much effort. We're here to observe the way our breath moves, the way our body moves. And we're here to soften today. The next time your belly drops down toward the ground, pause and start to sink your sitting bones back toward your heels. Walk your hands a little bit more forward, find a child's pose. And then as you inhale, glide up all fours. Maybe you untuck your toes if they were tucked, drip your hips toward the earth and shine your heart up toward the sky, finding a little cobra variation. Exhale, pressing into your hands, curling pubic bone to rib cage, sitting all the way back into your child's pose. And inhale, glide up and forward, dripping your hips once again. So just allowing this to be really smooth, really gentle, flowing and guiding your body into these movements with your breath. Coming through a few on your own rhythm. And then we'll all meet in our child's pose. Knees wide, big toes touching. Allow your forehead to drop down onto the earth. Allow your heart to sink down. And I do feel that if you practice with me a lot, or if you take a lot of vinyasa or power vinyasa classes, you'll always find our shoulders protracting. We're trying to engage and press down. Here I'd like you to drop so the back of your heart melts through the front of your heart down into the floor as much as possible. And let your forehead get heavy, heavy, heavy. And welcoming your breath, finding that central channel of your breath moving upward and down through your spine. Begin to walk your hands over toward the left, taking a little side body stretch. You might have to pick up your forehead a little bit. Pressing your right hand away from you, stretching through the right side body here. If you want it to be a little bit more active, you can go ahead and draw your right hip back and press your right hand forward. And then we'll come on back through center, over toward the right side. Left hip draws back, left hand draws forward, or it can be a little bit more chill, a little bit more restful. You choose in this class how much heat you want. And then come on back to center and shift your gaze forward. Maybe your chin comes down onto the mat, maybe it doesn't. But gaze and eyes go forward and start to crawl your fingertips forward until your elbows lift up. And keep crawling your fingertips forward, 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 until you're in kind of a puppy pose. So your hips lift up off of your heels, and then your heart will drip down once again. And let this be, again, a melting. So your throat opens if that feels all right. If not, forehead could be on the floor. And there's a letting go in this version of the posture. Sometimes we do puppy and we wrap our elbows down, we wrap our armpits in. But here, just allow your heart to sink toward the floor. Allow a little bit of surrender into this posture. And maybe a little bit of surrender into your mind and into your heart as you breathe here. Again, shifting your gaze forward, pressing down into your elbows, and start to glide your body forward onto your belly. Untuck your toes if they were tucked, and then lift your elbows. We're gonna roll onto our right hip, press more into your left hand, and glide your left foot up towards the center of your mat. So you're in this kind of twisty, melty, gooey side body stretch. So your right hand will be just in front of your shoulder. It's not directly under, there's a little bit of a diagonal angle. And your right leg, the elongated leg, will be pressing, so it's energized, like you want to press the foot away from you. And then allow your shoulder to melt up towards your ear. So this is one of the only postures, I'm a little stuck here. This is one of the only postures that we allow our shoulder to scrunch upward toward our ear, because in allowing that, the whole right side body opens up. And you might need to wiggle a little bit to find it. Left forearm can rest on top of thigh, you can press your knee away, and we'll just be here for a little while. Your stretch should be felt somewhere in the right side body, maybe in the right back side. We're not needing to be super still here. Flexibility and opening happens at our body's pace, not ours. So we can kind of explore in these longer holds where we need to pause, where it's sticky, where we might need a little bit more time to breathe. The closer your hand is, sometimes the more intense. So if you're not feeling it, you can bring your hand a little bit closer to your body. And just really allowing our right side rib cage to soften toward the earth. Just letting this feel opening, feel melty, feel good. And coming back to the rhythm of your breath. From here, we're going to move into a grasshopper variation. So start to walk both of your hands a little bit to the top left corner of your mat. Right hand stays wide and forward. And then left hand will walk around to your left towards your back foot. Maybe you stay up on your fingertips here. Maybe this is where you stay. If you'd like to take it deeper, shoot your heart forward, a little bend of your elbows, and start to draw heart forward and down. And press into your left foot, which you can look at, hello, and really plant down. Heart melts down here, and hips draw back. And you can wiggle around, you can take some maybe spinal waves, just explore this, and you can always plant the hands down, you can come back up, really see how this feels in your body. Draw your breath in. It's almost like you're completely dripping down toward the earth, but at the last minute there's a little resistance with the arms. Such a good, strange posture. I love all the strange ones. They can get into all the crevices, all the areas that are sticky that need a little love. And then start to lift yourself back up. Walk your hands around to the front of your mat. Tuck your back toes, and all 10 toes point forward. Now we'll just toe heel our left foot over to the right side of our mat. and open our left knee down, preparing for our half pigeon. Walk your hands back, and then untuck your back toe, plant your fingertips, and inhale to lift your heart upward toward the sky. As you exhale, lead with your heart like you're pouring it, like almost like your heart was pouring out of a cup down into the earth. You can stay up on your forearms or a block, or you can come all the way down, maybe forehead comes down to floor. And here, I want you to envision your left hip drawing back and your right hip drawing forward. It's not a huge movement, it's something you can feel, and that might deepen the stretch in your outer left hip, outer left glute. Maybe even a little bit into your quad. And as we work with our flexibility and as we work with our softening, know that sometimes one of my favorite teachers always tells us that when we feel a sensation that feels tight, we might think it feels tight or it feels locked. She invites us to shift our awareness or our thinking on the word tight and maybe switch that to when we feel that sensation, it's opening. So when we feel like something's tight, that's just the sensation that it's opening for us. And if we can guide our loving awareness and our breath onto those sensations, instead of stepping back or running away, they might open for us, if we're patient, in time. Notice if you're here for a while, if your breath goes elsewhere, your mind goes elsewhere. Bringing your awareness back to the inhales and exhales, the up and down, the duality. Where can you find the expansion here? Where can you soften into your exhalation? Start to walk your hands back towards your body, lifting your torso up. Tuck your back toes and just gently draw your left heel back in line with your left knee. And crawl back down. Right arm reaches out in front of you. Roll down and over onto your back. It's always the best in marinate classes when we get to roll around on the floor. Always the best. So you might squeeze back onto your mat, or you might stay kind of on the floor if that feels good for you. And then we'll pull both of our knees into our chest and reach for the outer edges of our feet. Taking a happy baby here. So a baby tuck of your chin as you draw your tailbone down and forward. And then invite your knees, so draw your knees down, down, down towards the earth, outside of your rib cage. And then start to press your heels up to the sky. And notice as you press your heels up to the sky, that will open the backs of your thighs a little bit. And as you're pressing your heels up to the sky, pull your hands down into your feet. Now invite your breath back in and use your breath as a tool here. So as you inhale, press, press, press both heels up into your hands, and at the same time resist with your hands pulling down. And as you exhale, pull your hands down as your heels resist by pressing up. Good, we'll try that again. Inhale, kicking your heels up as you resist with your hands. And exhale, pulling your feet down as you resist with your heels. Slowly releasing. Elongate your legs as long as you can, and then reach your arms over your head. Get as long and as tall as you can, a full body stretch. And then slowly roll over to your left. back onto your belly, and you might have to slide back onto your mat. Glide your hands beside your rib cage and inhale, cobra pose. It doesn't have to be high. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra pose, elbows hug back, heart pours forward and up. Exhale, release. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale forward to all fours. And as you exhale, glide up and back to your downward facing dog. And let this downward facing dog be grounding. Let this be a pouring of yourself into the earth. Spreading your hands and spreading your feet wide like you're melting and dripping down, down, down. And let that heaviness, that rootedness, really stabilize your foundation here. And then we lift through our sitting bones and allow our hamstrings to stretch. Just feeling your body and feeling your breath here. A gentle tuck of your chin. As you inhale, come up to your tippy toes. And as you exhale, lower your knees down to the mat in the same way at the same time. Start to drip your heart down, finding cow pose. And sink your sitting bones back toward your heels, child's pose. As you inhale, shift your gaze forward and start to walk your hands forward. Keep walking them forward, just like we did in the beginning, until you find your puppy pose variation. Maybe throat opens and comes down to the mat. Maybe chin comes down, or maybe it's just forehead. Find your degree of what feels good here. And again, heaviness and a melting aspect. Can your inhales bring in a little bit more life? And can your exhales bring in a little bit more grounding? Shift your gaze forward, elbows stay down, and glide forward all the way onto your belly. As you inhale, press into your hands, lifting your elbows, and start to roll onto your outer left hip, pressing more forward with your right hand. As you roll onto your outer left hip, glide your right foot up to the center of your mat and plant it. So you're in this little bit of a grasshopper-y shape. Yes. Good. And right forearm can come to the top of your right thigh. Allow your left shoulder to slide up towards your ear and press your bottom leg away from you. And again, finding yourself exploring here, allowing your body to open for you, to unlock for you. And maybe you even sway a little bit, finding those spots that are more sticky. And directing your breath into those areas with your mind. From here, we'll move into our little grasshopper shape. So walk your hands a little bit towards the right side of your mat. Your left hand can stay out in front, and then your right hand will walk towards your right foot, toward the back of your mat. So you might stay right here, up on the fingertips, or you might start to send your heart forward and down, bending your elbows, and allowing the dripping of the heart to give you a little bit more sensation. And here you want to think about heart down and forward, hips back and a little bit up. And you could press into your right heel to stabilize. Beautiful. Find your breath. Search for sensation and direct your breath to them. Begin to come back up. Walk both of your hands toward the front of your mat. Tuck your back toes and pivot. So all toes and all knees face forward. Walk your right foot over toward the left and drop your right knee open for half pigeon. Place your back knee down and walk your hands back underneath your shoulders, and you might need to pick up your back knee and give yourself a little bit more space, drawing it to the back of your mat. Inhale, peel your heart up toward the sky. And as you exhale, dive your heart down, walk your hands forward, maybe to forearms, maybe to a block, or maybe all the way down toward the earth, forehead coming down. Allow yourself some grace here, resting your awareness and your attention on your breath. Finding a loving kindness in your heart for you, for all of the duality in your life, all of the in-breaths and out-breaths, the yeses and the nos, all of the good and the bad, and everything in between. Honoring you here right now. And slowly start to walk your hands back underneath your shoulders, tuck your back toes, and then lift your hips a little bit, drawing your right heel back in line with your right knee. And then we're gonna walk all the way down, arms elongate, and roll over to your right, onto your back. Ooh, I got a nice crack in my back. I love when that happens, a little adjustment. You can come back onto your mat or you can stay off of it, whatever feels good. Draw your knees in and reach for the outer feet. Draw your knees down and press your heels up for your happy baby. You can stay here, or if you'd like a little different experience, you can reach inside for the arches of your feet. Gentle tuck of your chin, tailbone elongates. And we'll work our breath here again. So as you inhale, press your heels upward, resisting with your hands, opening the backs of your thighs. And as you exhale, pull your hands down, but resist by pressing up with your heels. Inhale, pressing heels up, resisting with hands. Exhale, pulling feet down, resisting with heels. Slowly release. Elongate your legs and reach your arms over your head. Big stretch. And then as you exhale, roll back over towards your left. Come back onto your belly and wiggle back onto your mat. Allow yourself a moment here to make a pillow with your hands and rest your forehead upon your hands. Let your heels drop out to either side, belly fully relaxed. Taking a moment of stillness, a moment of peace. Glide your hands back in line with your rib cage. Inhale for your cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, upward cobra. Exhale, lower. Last one, inhale, upward to your cobra. Child's pose as you exhale. Inhale, glide forward. And as you exhale, downward facing dog. And let this be grounding, let it be chill. Let it be soft in all of the ways that this pose can be soft. Find places to soften, whether it be physically, mentally, or in your heart space. Maybe physically softening your heart space backward towards your thighs. Inhale, tippy toes. And as you exhale, place your knees down. Sit back on your heels and bring the backs of your hands to your thighs. Growing tall. Taking a full breath in and a full breath out. Letting your shoulders drop away from your ears. Letting your jaw unclench. From here, we're going to move into our final restorative postures, which is my favorite part of the practice. Let's gather our props. So bring your blocks closer to you, and then we will arrange our bolster so that it's long ways at the back of our mat. Draw your sacrum, which is the flat part at the base of your spine, to meet your bolster. And then bring your blocks on the lowest setting outside of your thighs. We'll arrange them in a bit. Hands can come back behind you. Inhale, lift your heart, elbows draw together, really opening your front body. And then as you exhale, start to waterfall your body over your bolster. One of the best poses, in my opinion. Draw the soles of your feet to touch and let your knees open wide for Supta Baddha Konasana. And you can use the blocks here to support your thighs. Arms can come into a goalpost, they can be wide. If you have the sun beaming down in your face like I do, they can cover your face. I do love filming here because it's like I'm in a greenhouse. It's glorious and it's so warm and toasty. So I'm sending you summer vibes wherever you are in the world. But as you rest down here and as you settle down into this posture, see where you could do a little bit less. Where can you drop your body weight down? Where can you allow and give permission to your muscles, to your tissues, to your brain to let it go, to drop? And not just drop physically, but drop the thoughts that are circling around in your mind. Easier said than done, but we can use our breath as a tool for this. If you find your thoughts getting away with you, kind of running fast or in a spiraling motion, that sensation of movement, again, lay your awareness on your breath. And every time you find yourself wandering away, gently replace and relay your awareness onto your breath. It's a practice. The more we do this, the more we remember to come back and direct our attention, the less we have to. And the more times we allow this space to open up, to be held, to drop in, the more space we actually create in our mind for clear thoughts, for realizations, for focus. So allowing yourself this gift now to be with your breath, to drop anything that's heavy. You can pick it up later or not. Where can you soften a little bit more? Where can you find a sensation of holding? And imagine a softness. Maybe unclenching your jaw, We're just visualizing your jaw softening. And just as you can visualize your jaw softening and it softens, or visualizing your eyes soften and they soften. Visualize your inner thighs softening. Let them soften. Visualize the front of your shoulders softening. And let them soften. Gently sparking an awareness of your fingertips and moving your fingers a little bit. Guiding your fingers to your outer thighs and just drawing your knees back to touch. From here, gently roll your knees to the left and roll off of your bolster so that you're in a little bit of a seed shape on the floor. Take a moment here to just rest, go inward. And when you feel ready, press into your top hand and come all the way up for our final posture. We're going to take our 2 blocks and place them at the top of our mat. Almost mat width apart, but not quite. And then we're going to take the bolster and place it on top of the blocks, almost like, anyone remember Lincoln Logs? Might be dating myself. Or Legos or something. We're creating like a tower here. So place your bolster on top of the blocks and then glide yourself as close to the bolster and the block structure as you can and place your calves on top of it. And from here, we're going to come all the way down onto our backs. You might have to adjust so that it doesn't topple. But we would like the bolster to be supporting the backs of our thighs. So we're not too far away from it, and our ankles are kind of suspended. They're hanging off in space. So get close enough so that your ankles are suspended and your full bottom half of your leg feels totally supported. And then from here, open your arms wider than usual. Press into the back of your head and lift your heart a little bit, gliding your shoulders together on your back, and let that prop up your heart. We'll allow ourselves a long, deep breath in, all the way up to the crown of your head, nice and slow, nourishing, and then open your mouth and release. Allowing your calves to relax, your thighs to relax. Closing down your eyes. And feeling the support beneath you. Allowing a restful sensation to come over you. You have nowhere to go, you have nowhere to be, just right here and right now. Come back again to the duality of your breath. Your inhales lifting and your exhales drawing down. So that no matter how far you get inspired, how far you fly, how high you go, you can always come down, reground, reset, re-earth. That's life. And our yoga practice gives us the gift of understanding ourselves and our lives a little bit more deeply. Allow yourself to fully rest here. And as you soften here, you might notice an energetic opening. Over the time spent, a new layer, a new heaviness, a new depth might appear. Lean into that depth, allowing the softness to take you heavier and heavier, deeper and deeper. Stay here as long as you need. Shavasana. Thank you so much for marinating with me today. I hope you enjoyed this practice as much as I enjoyed teaching it. I feel completely floaty, and I am honored to have shared this practice with you. If you enjoy my classes, please subscribe to my channel, share it with a friend, leave me a comment so that we can connect and grow our little family here on YouTube. And if you'd like to find me off of YouTube, my website is jrockyoga.com for retreats, trainings, all of that good stuff. And my Instagram is @jrockyoga. I will see you next time.